Shock report, massive voter fraud uncovered in Georgia by Amy Moreno for TruthFeedNews.com. The news out of Georgia isn't good, folks. In one precinct with 276 registered voters, a total of 670 ballots were cast. That math doesn't add up, and that means voter fraud. And I guarantee you, out of the 670 ballots, I bet you it's all Democratic voter fraud, not Republican voter fraud. How much you want to make a bet on that? I'll put some money on the table for that one. You can't make this up. From Breitbart, 670 ballots were cast in Georgia precinct with a 276 registered voters in the state's primary election, according to the Georgia Secretary of State's office. Well, if it's only 276 people, put them in there, get the voter ID and check it out. You know, I mean, really? How difficult is that? We're not talking about millions of votes here. Northeastern Georgia precinct, located in Habersham County, had 276 registered voters before the state's primary election at the end of May, but 670 votes were recorded, indicating that 276% of the voters turned out in Georgia's primary election, McClatchy reported. The recently publicized voting irregularities come as the state investigated other instances of voter fraud, including one where an Atlanta City Hall staffer claimed she had to print and deliver 500 blank absentee ballots to an advocacy group staffer and pick up additional ballots from the Atlanta mayor's campaign office to drop them off at an office in Fulton County. Part of the reason for the increase in voter fraud claims stems from concerns about the security of Georgia's election voting system, as Georgia is one of a handful of states, including New Jersey, South Carolina, Delaware, and Louisiana, that uses electronic voting machines that do not produce a paper trail for voters to verify their ballots. Election experts say the lack of a paper trail makes the ballots difficult to audit. Well, something has to be done about that. A voter in one sworn statement said she and her husband were assigned to different polling places and city council districts, even though both were registered to vote at the same address, according to McClatchy. In other instances, voters arrived at the polling places indicated on the Secretary of State's website, only to be told by election officials they had to vote elsewhere. So the corruption is even within, right? One Atlanta Democrat even said that a voting machine gave him a ballot displaying the 5th Congressional District when he was supposed to get a ballot for the 6th Gave him a ballot displaying the 5th when he was supposed to get a ballot for the 6th, Congressional District. Well, those things have to be fixed up. This is not a third world country. Get with the program. Harry Hursty, an election cybersecurity expert, said the incorrect ballots could have been the result of clerical error or manipulation of voter data by hackers. Yeah, let's get to the hackers. Yeah, let's take a look at the hackers, the Democratic Party and George Soros's machines, plus the loony left that work in these places. How about that? A spokesperson for the Office of Georgia Secretary of State defended the security of the state's ballots in a statement in response. What? He defended the security of the state's ballots in a statement in response to the recent allegations of voter fraud? Really? Really? Well, fire her too. Spokeswoman Candace Brock Brosi wrote in an email alongside federal, local, and private sector partners. We continue to fight every day. Sure you do. I bet you're a Democrat. To ensure secure and accurate elections. Yeah, we saw that. 600 and something to 270 something that were supposed to be cast in Georgia that are free from interference to this day due to the vigilance. Yeah, we've heard that story. And dedication of the hard work of those partners, our election system and voting equipment remains secure. Doesn't look secure to me. The latest revelation of voter fraud comes soon after the release of fraud, how the left plan to steal the next election. Yeah, and fire this one here. Fire them, replace people, and if they are involved in the voter scam, lock them up and make it clear to them, anybody involved in some devious practices, you will be held accountable. Not only the people voting wrong, you're going to be held accountable too. Let's see if they change their tune then, because she should be put away just for coming out and making that ridiculous statement. It shows that she's involved. So, how the left plan to steal the next election, a new book by Eric Egger, the Government Accountability Institute, GAI Research Director. Egger's book points out that voter fraud is increasingly common and encouraged by left-wing mega donors like George Soros. There we go. His name always pops up with voter fraud, who support organizations that commit voter fraud. Yeah, because he does. So what does that tell you? He should be prosecuted, right? He can't be allowed to run rampant in this country. The book also notes that enough voter fraud has been documented to swing a presidential election and is enough of a problem that could impact the 2018 midterm elections. Well, I say thank God for the Electoral College, but what are you going to do with the other voting things that are taking place? You see? Listen, they're desperate to get a Senate seat that so they can impeach Trump. That's all they want to do. And I say, what's holding Trump back? Maybe it's Jeff Sessions, who's not for Trump, or Rod Rosenstein, the Attorney General, to start prosecuting George Soros. So we let these criminals run rampant in our country? It's a disgrace at this point. Come on. And this other moron, what's her name? Candace Brocey or Brache or whatever her name is. She's saying we're upholding the integrity. 670 ballots were cast when only 276 were registered. This woman needs to be thrown off the team there for this voter thing. And you have to check. If they're Democrats, they're bad news. If they're Democratic voters, they are the people who are causing this voter fraud. Because the Republicans have decent jobs. They don't want to be caught up in a scandal. The Democrats are mostly the ones that are unemployed. Don't look at the Hollywood crowd. The Democrats are the ones that don't have money and don't have a respectable position in life. Come on. Come on. Give it a break with all this garbage here. Voter fraud. Come on. With all the electronics going on, and we have supposed people looking into these things, and this is still taking place. Come on. Enough is enough with this garbage. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.